Today, I wanted to make clear how bad things are regarding governments. So, governments, guys, you have to realize, are not your friend ever, ever. As Ronald Reagan said, the 9 words, the worst 9 words you should hear. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. So it's the same thing here. What's happened is they created they were a needless lockdown, they did, and then they paid people to stay at home for 2 years. That increased the debt, and now we have to have the highest taxation in 70 years to pay that off, last time being after World War II, right? So the World War II needed all those debts to be paid off, so we needed huge taxation, and now as well. Now, what is a communist country? A communist country is where the government owns 100% of the economy, right? Every transaction is from the government or with the government. There are no private transactions. Okay, now obviously there is no economy like that. Even Soviet Russia wouldn't have been called like that. But I'll tell you how bad things are. Just taking the UK, we are in the UK, it's now 47%, nearly half of all spending in the economy is government spending. So you can check it up on Google. Government spending as a percentage of GDP, UK, you'll get 47%. Okay, France, it's already above 50%. Okay, now which country is 35%, 32%? China. Your communist country is not really a communist country. It's only 32%. A real communist, there are no private transactions. It's all the government. They facilitate everything. So therefore, the more you get as the government takes over, the more percentage you have. So we have the UK and the French who think they think they're so free. They think they live in a capitalistic, oh, that's the funniest, capitalistic economy. Absolutely not. The government provides the welfare for good 20% of the population. Then you've got another 10%, 15% on government jobs. In the UK, the world's biggest employer, the National Health Service, the world's biggest employer, National Health Service, is a government-owned subsidy. So they make everything for the NHS. It's all government spending, and on and on and on. And I want people to realize that when America in the 1800s, huge country, they had to set rail lines to crisscross this massive country, bigger than Europe. So now in the UK, they're just trying to do HS2, which is just from Birmingham to London, less than 150 miles, very, very small. And it's taken the government billions and billions and doubled over budget. But only the government really could take on such a project, right? No one even thought that a private enterprise would ever be able to take on such a project. Yet in America, in the 1800s, with zero technology, manual labor for everything, all their rail was private enterprise. As with the UK, as with France, as with all these countries, the huge rail networks that we have were all private funded. There was no government subsidies or anything, or tax breaks. It was all private enterprise. And now even 150 measly miles cannot be undertaken without the government having to intervene. Even I would say a 10-mile railway would not be able to be done without the government. This is how ridiculous the society is. They like giving you the platitudes. You're in a capitalist economy. You're free. There's certain things I can't say on this video regarding what happened in 2020. Just the words. I already just went off a 1-week ban. If I mention it, it'll get taken down. So you think you're in free. You think you're capitalistic. Go check it out. It's a Google search. Go on. China is less government involved than the UK and France. They are more communist than China, right? And, this is where we're at now. So the governments have taken over and they've had to increase taxation to pay for their reckless spending. As we all know, governments are the worst allocators of resources. They do not know. That's why capitalism works. That's why capitalism has pulled out more people from poverty than any other system, because it works. But these people, because they're in power, they don't want to let it work. They don't want to allow us, the people, to be in charge. They want to be in charge, and they take control. And so therefore nothing really occurs in big economies without them. Now, if you take away the governments, you take away their power of taxation, you take away their power to print money and use debt, right? Before 1913, another thing you have to realize, there was no income tax in the USA, no federal income tax in the US before 1913. What happened that same year? The Federal Reserve was set up, meaning in order to have a central bank which prints fake money, you need to have taxation. Because who's really backstops all the debt? It's the taxpayer. At the end of the day, banks go bankrupt. Central banks come in and put a backstop and flood them with money, like in 2008. But then who pays that? Who pays the government printing the debt? The taxpayer every time. So you have to have a huge form of taxation in order to have a central bank. And a central bank, as we know with the Fed, is a private institution, right? It's not public. It's owned. It's a private institution. And so people there, they're the ones taking the decisions. They're the ones who force all of us to pay a ridiculous amount of taxes, highest taxation in 70 years. I don't know why they say that in 70 years. Let's just put it in reality. Highest taxation ever. Okay, let's put it in perspective. Highest taxation ever. In the UK, someone earns above $140,000, pays 45% tax, straight up income tax, plus 20% VAT. It's already 65%, plus property taxes, plus all the other alcohol, the cigarette taxes. We're talking about 90% of his income goes to taxes. How is this normal? We are living in communism that they just use platitudes to tell you it's capitalism, it's free. You think in China they're not free? China, they are as free to do whatever they want, just certain topics they can't discuss. Like me on here, I can't discuss certain topics. They can't discuss certain topics. They can't discuss their government. They can't discuss those things. But everything else, they can discuss products. They can discuss Coke. They can discuss celebrities. They can discuss football. What do you not understand? That you think you are living in a more free society than they do? I really don't understand it.